This is our new orphanage. It's as big as a castle.
Feel free to use the house as you see fit. Mrs. Mullins and I stay down here. Your rooms are upstairs. Locked, and it stays that way.
Hello? You're the Mullins daughter, aren't you?
You help me?
What do you need?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to today's review. This one's an exciting one. We've got for you the newest Annabelle movie, the second one, not the first one. To start us off, I am Ryan, and I'm a Cinemaholic.
Hi, I'm Bella, and I'm a Cinemaholic.
I'm Spencer, and I'm a Game of Thrones-aholic. Also a Cinemaholic.
So Spencer just finished watching the latest episode of Game of Thrones, and I just finished watching with her season 5, episode 7. Yeah. So we're both in really exciting spots in Game of Thrones, but that's not what we're talking about. We are talking about Annabelle Creation, the new David Sandberg movie. He's the director that brought us Lights Out last year, and this year, Annabelle Creation, which is the newest addition to the Conjuring universe that they've started. Actually, to start us off, do you want to talk about it, Spencer? What did you think?
Yeah, so tonight's Game of Thrones was easily the... I'm just kidding. I thought this movie was good. Just kidding. I'll go into depth with this. I really like this movie quite a bit. I don't think it's perfect. However, I think that the setup, they had lots of setups that they paid off later in the movie. Like there's, I just want to start off by saying this is going to be a spoiler review. And there might be kind of small spoilers throughout, but nothing you can't really see coming if you've ever seen a horror movie ever. So they have like a scarecrow, for example, that they show early in the movie. And you're like, oh, that's going to come back later in the movie. And it does. And then they have like a shaft, like a laundry chute or whatever you want to call it. And you're like, oh, that's going to come into play later. Yeah, it comes into play later. They have a stair. Yeah, that a cripple kid can go up in, and you're like, that's going to come into play, and it does come into play. So it checks all the boxes of what horror movies like set out to do, and if you've seen one, you've basically seen them all, especially of this brand. However, the filmmaking, I think, is pretty strong throughout this movie. I do think it's too reliant on jump scares, and there is I have one huge issue that's kind of more of a plot spoiler that I'll talk about a little bit later. But overall, it was fun while it lasted. I wouldn't say I loved it, but as much as The Conjuring 1, especially The Conjuring 1 is still my favorite in the series. I've come to the conclusion. But compared to the first Annabelle, I mean, this is Citizen Kane. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with you with everything. Yeah, it's like the scenes where you could just see that was going to happen later. Yeah, it was so obvious. But yeah, it's the kind of horror movie that, like, Conjuring was like that too. But just thinking, like, when I first watched it, I thought it was terrifying. I was really, really scared. Really scared. And I like horror movies. Even the dumb ones, like the, predictable ones. But that one was freaky. Like, the first Annabelle, it was, I didn't like it. I thought it was bad. And then this one, it was way better than the first one. But, yeah, like, thinking about it later, like, the doll was the demon, whatever that is, monster, whatever, was in, like, the doll was the, I don't know the name. Like, it was just, the object that the demon
like a
used.
mulligan.
Yeah, but then the scarecrow.
Like golf? Like a mulligan in golf? It's the vessel. I would call it the vessel.
Yeah, and then the scarecrow was basically like that too later on. And I was like, wait, I thought it was a doll. But it was something that I just thought about it later. Like, that didn't really make sense. But I liked it. It was terrifying. It was good.
I hate horror movies, so for me, it was a nightmare. but like you said, it checked all the boxes, and there were several things. I've never seen any of the Conjuring movies at all, so I was kind of having fresh eyes on this, and it kept checking off those boxes. There were specific shots where I was like, yep, that chair thing, that'll come back later. We'll just forget about that for now. Going under the stairs and the chutes and ladders thing, whatever. And there were plantings from other movies, previous movies and future movies, like the Nun thing. I had no idea what the Nun was or anything, but it was handled in such a way that I was like, bah, well, there's a planting for another Conjuring movie. I don't know if it's happened or if it's going to happen, but that's obviously a planting, which kind of was good for me, but it bugged me more than it didn't, because I was like, be a little more subtle. Like, if I didn't even know anything about any of the other movies and I could still tell that you were plugging something else, it's not a very good Easter egg. It's more of like this is our universe. We're like Marvel. But overall, like I think the thing I liked the most was that the last half of it was so suspenseful, and they were able to maintain that suspense throughout the whole last act, where it didn't let up. It just kept going and going. And a lot of times they kind of dragged on the suspense until, bam, something would happen. And that creepy dragging of the suspense just wrecked me. I don't do that crap. And the ending just kept going and kept going. That being said, I don't know if it's a plus or a minus, but by the end, probably 20 minutes before the ending happened, I was turning to her and I was just like, just kill everyone. Seriously, I want everyone to die, because I know no one's going to make it out of the movie alive anyways. Just end the movie now. Just kill them. So in that sense, it was good, but in the same sense, it's like, I didn't really care about any of the characters because I wanted them all to die. And it did, last thing, it did have a lot of kind of like Ouija 2 vibes, which I know you liked. And I thought it was all right, but that might be because the same girl was in both of those movies. But
that's where she's from.
Yeah, she's from Ouija 2. Yeah. But it at the same time, it did kind of have those vibes, and it had the whole, what was it, 80s, 90s, whatever.
It's like 50s.
50s, was it?
Like 50s. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because the cars they were driving. So
right.
And they were pretty impressed that the house had a TV.
Right.
So it was overall, I liked it. Do you want to get into spoilers, Spence?
Yeah, there's a couple things. First off, that girl, good actress. She's a good little actress. Like I like how the movie switches gears. Like, you start off thinking it's gonna be about the girl as polio, and you're like, oh, she's gonna be the hero of the movie. Yeah. And it's going to have but then she turns out being the one who gets possessed. And the other little girl, Linda, I think her name was, she has to basically overcome not just the fact that her friend is turned into a crazy possessed individual, but she has to deal with the fact that she has no friends in this household other than the sister. And she's staying in a bedroom alone full of creepy ass puppets. So it's literally she has the worst hand of cards you could ever be dealt. There are big gripes with this movie for me that involve spoilers, as I said, and here they are. So 2 huge things. When I was a kid and I heard something scary or saw something scary, I would avoid that situation at all costs. And there are at least 5, no joke, that's not hyperbolic at all. There are at least 5 scenes where a kid is standing outside a door, hears something creepy in the room. It's like, oh, what's in there? And they open the door and go in. I get that all horror movies do that, but literally every single time, even after they've been terrified by something, they're like, oh, I'm gonna go, I wonder what's behind this door. And it's just it gets really old to me after a while. And by the end of it, I was kind of having trouble suspending my disbelief in that way. And my biggest complaint with this whole entire movie is it doesn't need to exist because of a detail in the plot. And that is that the parents kept the doll after it melted the mom's face off. They keep the doll inside of a closet and put Bible pages all over the closet. And there's no line at any point in the movie where they're like, oh, we kept it there because we couldn't bear to let our daughter go. Or they had no line like that. They just say that they put it inside this room and cover it with Bible verses. And that drove me nuts for the rest of the movie, because I was like, there is no point for your guys' house to be haunted, because you should just given it to the Catholic Church and been like, you guys take the creepy doll and get rid of it however you need to. So that really bothered me, and it almost made the third act obsolete. But that one sequence where she has the flashlight after she goes down, she sees the girl crawling towards her. That was horrifying, really creepy and awesome.
I can't. There's
like,
go for it.
It's just like The Conjuring, the first one that had the basement scene too. That was creepy. Sorry.
Spoiler alert.
I figured there was gonna be a basement scene.
Okay, good.
What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say there was one of those things like you were talking about where you obviously don't go into the freaking dark closet or let's run away and hide in this scary little shed. No, people don't do that. But the biggest one for me was the dad. We're spoilers, yeah. So the dad died. He's like literally his fingers are bent backwards and his face is blue and he's like straight up dead laying on the floor, and they're horrified. And then the mom's like, or the lady is like, well, let's go upstairs and go to sleep. It's time for bed. What the fuck? No. That obviously crap is going down in that house. Why are you telling those kids to go to sleep? No, you get them to freak out of there and you go do something. No, that was stupidity. But at the same time, I kind of chalk that up for a horror movie. Mm-hmm. It drives me nuts, but it is in most. And that's why things like Don't Breathe and things like Green Room are so good, is because they don't fall into that classic trope. And I do just need to clarify before we move on. I meant to say MacGuffin when I said Mulligan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like...
And so that really does work. It's just not. We're not talking about golf. We're talking about movies.
You said Mulligan. I was like,
yeah, me too. I just like nodded, like, yeah, but I don't know what we're talking about. Like one thing that freaked me out was when the little girl went to bed because the demon was following her, and then when she looked down
with the footprints.
Yeah. Oh. And then she just heard like the demon, whatever, like going up to her bed.
Yeah, I can't do that crap, dude. Yeah. I don't know.
And then she just heard like the bed moving because the demon was like next to her, and I'm terrified of that.
I can't do it. Needless to say, dude, I lost sleep over this movie. I'm just such a chicken, and it really isn't. I don't think it's that scary for people who really love horror movies, but I'm such a wuss with this crap. I don't do it.
I used to, but I don't do it anymore. I'm terrified.
Yeah, you just gotta watch a ton, Ryan, and then you'll get to the point where you're just jaded like me and Bella, and they're just like,
it's just like heroin.
Exactly. You gotta just push 4 or 5 times, and then after that, it just becomes another horrible trip for you. So. But oh man, you brought up Green Room. I think movies like Green Room are way more scary because there's like such a thing as like Nazis out there, like that will want to kill you. So, but this is so like Hollywoodized. Like I don't know about ghosts and all that. I don't know where I stand with all that. But yeah, I'm these types of movies are just fun for me to watch. So I'll score this first. Are you guys ready to score it?
Yep.
Okay. I'll give it a 6.25 out of 10. I enjoyed this movie. Think it's worth watching. If it's something you're into, then go see it by all means. I don't think it's the best horror movie of the year. I still think that's Get Out, but worth seeing, guys. If you want to go see it, go see it. No one's stopping you.
Yeah, I would score 7.5 out of 10.
I'm going I'm going with my gut. I'm saying 8. This movie really did it. It got to me, and I may in a year when I've desensitized myself go back and give it a lower score, but it set out to scare me and it scared me, and I came out freaked out, and it wasn't a bad film. So I'm definitely gonna go 8, and it's inspired me to at least go watch Conjuring 1 and Conjuring 2, as well as finally get around to the Babadook. So
oh, you have to see the Babadook, and we should do a review of that when you watch it. I'm always down to watch The Babadook again. But hey, man, like this is a well-made movie. I don't want to like just because I give it 6.25. It's just because I've seen so many movies like this, so I don't want to discredit this movie. It's a good movie. So, you guys can follow me on Twitter at SpinnyHand. Where can they find you guys?
On Twitter and Letterboxd and Stardust at Rye_Gordon. If you haven't downloaded Stardust yet, download it and follow Spencer first, and then follow the rest of us. Where can they find you?
So on Twitter, it's at @BellaRomano_, and Stardust is just Bella Romano.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, Annabelle, this is a creepy movie. We'll see how we fall on, what's the next one? The Nun. Could be fun.
I was about to say The Glass Castle.
The Glass Castle is next. This is another one where I will score low and Spencer will score high, but such is film, right? Until next time.
Bye.